My father and grandfather loved to work in wood, and my dad still does. He builds wooden boats, things as a hobby. And my grandfather also built a variety of things out of wood. My great-grandfather, on my dad's side, was a pattern maker in Peru, Indiana, making patterns for the furniture company, or industry, yeah. So I've got a couple of his tools up there, a couple saws and things like that. So over the years, I've been able to acquire a few pieces that way. Most of it has been acquired through need. As I'm building a project, I realize, oh, I need a particular tool. So I'll go to a flea market or antique mall or something like that and see what they have. It used to be a lot easier to get them, and they were generally cheaper. Now it's becoming a little more scarce, and cost is going up and stuff. But frequently I'll end up making a tool just to suit a particular job. Yeah. Yes, I made this workbench. It's been rebuilt probably 3 times over the years. This latest version, it's been this way for probably about 10 years. It's what's called a modified Roubaud style. Roubaud was a French guy back in the 1700s who designed a workbench for building furniture and cabinetry, and it had a really simple, clean design that worked well. And since I'm using very similar tools to back then, it works well for me too. And those planes you see over there, there's a variety of different planes, but they all have a specific use, and I use them all. Some of them are for grooving, some are for making moldings, and some of them are for flattening the boards or for working curved surfaces, things like that. So they all come in very handy, that's for sure. And I enjoy using the hand tools. One, it's quieter, and it's safer and stuff. And as you get skilled with them, you realize that you don't really lose time, and compared to using a big power saw or something like that. The thing that I do is I build individual pieces for people, and it's important to me that I can make a product just for them. I don't do mass productions of many different things, because at that point I would be at a great disadvantage. You know, power tools, you can make 50 things pretty fast if you need to. This particular one. But the back, I used our own body as a model. So here's the spine, and then here are the ribs coming out, and the spine, like ours, goes back into 2 legs. So, and the curve on it also is the same shape as our back when we're at rest, when we're sitting in there. And then the sculpted seat with a lot of interesting detail. I love putting the detail in the seat. It's kind of like the canvas of the chair. It allows it to, the chair's beautiful to look at and very, very comfortable. I think that they're the most comfortable rocking chairs there are. That's, maybe I'm boasting, but I tried to make them that way, and people really do like them. So that's how I came up with that design. In 1997, I officially started my business, Classic Woodworking. And it was interesting because in 1992, I was in Seattle working as a biotech scientist. So things changed a little bit. But as a way of relaxing, what I would do is I would take wood and build something out of it. So in 1994, my company was purchased by a larger one, and they liquidated the staff and stuff like that. Kind of dog-eat-dog kind of thing. But one of the doctors that I worked with came to my house for dinner. I invited him over. And he was looking around at the things I had in there. He said, "Man, where did you buy this stuff?" I said, "I didn't buy it, I made it." And he looked at me and said, "Well, what are you doing in the biotech industry? You should be making furniture." So that kind of hit my soul, because I have always enjoyed working with wood and building things and stuff. Even as a little kid, working with my dad on one of his boats, using the surfform tool or the plane, sandpaper. He loved to give us sandpaper. For many years, I just was word of mouth, being local around here. That worked pretty well. And then when the economy went bad, I had to start spreading out more, so I started doing some shows. And Kentucky Crafted, actually last year, or this past early spring, or late winter, I guess it would be, was my first Kentucky Crafted show that I exhibited in. I'd been there several times and things like that, and over the years, and I thought, boy, I'd like to get into this show. But I went through the jury process and such like that, and they've been great folks over there, helping me out in all kinds of ways and things. Then I went to a show in Baltimore, Maryland, and it was a fine furniture show out there, and these rocking chairs won Best in Show. Yeah. And then in October of last year, another woodworking show or furniture show up in Milwaukee, and they won Best in Show there. And just this past month, another furniture show I went to, they won Best in Show there. So apparently the judges really like these chairs. So at the behest of the Kentucky Crafted people, they said, well, why don't you try entering these chairs, your work in the NICHE awards program. They've been giving out awards for 25 years. It's a big national kind of a thing. So I took some photographs of the chairs and entered them in there, and I got a letter back a couple weeks ago. Congratulations, you're a finalist. So among all those people, they chose my chairs as a potential winner, and that's going to be in Philadelphia in January, I think. Yeah. And coming up in the end of November is the Winter Fair show up in Covington, and that's one that I got to through the Kentucky Crafted program. They accept artisans from Kentucky Crafted without going through the jury process. So I'm going to be at that show too. It's an interesting thing when you work for yourself, because you're the production guy, you're the financial guy, you're the marketing man, and the business person. You're all these different things wrapped up into one. So you have to be really on top of your game and get your ducks in a row. Otherwise, you can find yourself kind of flitting around and not being able to complete your work on time.